Okay, I wanted to make this video real quick, just kind of a thing for people like me out there looking for tactical gloves. I'm kind of what they refer to as a gear, well, you know, the ending of that phrase. I tend to buy too much stuff. Can never decide what fits me well. I am very particular on types of gloves I wear. Got a little bit of alien fingers, little short thumb, long fingernail or fingers. So I mean, that, as you can tell, it doesn't look, you know, absolutely abnormal. I'm not going to join a circus or anything, but I have a problem finding gloves that fit me. A while back, the Nut and Fancy Project, big fan of theirs, they did a glove review, and when I was looking for gloves, you know, his whole thing is not paying much for them. You know, for my hands, I don't mind paying a little more. But I couldn't find any reviews for the types of gloves I was looking for, so I actually ended up buying a few and just wanted to give some other people a quick review on them if they're looking for something similar. You know, the old standby, for tactical and things like that, the old flight glove, you know. These, and also on these, every one of these gloves from every different manufacturer is a size medium, so you can use that as kind of a comparison as to the sizing. These, of course, have the long end on them, which most tactical operations, law enforcement, anybody is wearing a collared jacket, and you know, I'm not too big a fan of that unless you're, I mean, yeah, if you're going somewhere where you're going to have glass and things like that, but personally I just find it kind of a pain to put on and off, and or take on, put on, take off. Where I work, I do a lot of hand scanners and things like that. Something like that would just be kind of unsightly, especially if you're wearing short sleeves. You know, you just look weird. These are, you know, they're pretty much all made the same. These are by ProTech. There's a few other manufacturers. There's not too much difference in them. These ones here, they're a little bit on the loose side. A little bit of extra room in the pinky. You know, good spacing in the thumb there. The seams on them are very small because it is a very lightweight glove. These ones have, you know, some slight padding in this area. You got a nice fabric portion right here, which is great for wiping sweat off your forehead, things like that. You get a glove that has, you know, all leather or something like that. You know, you go to the range, you're out in the heat. It's kind of nice to be able to wipe that sweat off. It really does come in handy. The seams on these are a little rough, but this is a cheaper glove. I mean, these you can get for probably $10. A little bit of a nub coming off the side, which personally for firearms, things like that, I like to see a really nice fit around the finger. So that is a little odd, but I mean, not a bad glove. It's a very cheap option. Works fairly well. These ones are I believe Rothco makes these. Pretty decent glove. Yeah, I think it's Rothco, I'm not too sure. But these are a variant of the flight gloves. These have a textured material for grip. It's got a nice big pad right here when you go down and fall. Something like that, just to kind of spread that impact out a little bit from your wrist. It's got a good positioning, but honestly, for that purpose, it probably could be a little bit wider and maybe a little softer. This is very, very hard. It's got a good fit on the hand, nice protection in here. Once again, it's got some area for sweat. Same issues with the long pullover. It's got a little bit of protection back here. This isn't one of those, you know, knuckle plates. This is for, you know, hitting your hand up against something, protecting your knuckles. Not one of those aggressive motorcycle carbon fiber things that I've never found to fit right. I used to have a pair of those real nice Oakleys, and it just was constantly shifting on my hand. Never felt good. I ended up ripping the seams out of them within 2 weeks. Not too impressed with those. The one thing I will say on these, the thumb, the way that this material comes around here is very clumsy. It's just an odd placement. You get a weird, you gotta fold over because it doesn't have much grip in here to hold onto the thumb. A little bit of excess fabric, but the grip is good. The seams are not too bad. The finger, it's got a nice smooth area where your trigger would go, so you're going to have some decent trigger feel in these. Once again, that's another kind of cheaper option. Not a bad glove, but like I said, I'm not a fan of the real long ones. Some time ago, I went looking for a real nice glove for FRISKs, things like that. These are made by Blackhawk. They've got kind of a neat look to them, little texture pads on the finger and thumb, kind of like a little design with some arrows. I don't know if that'll really pick up too well. There you go. But these are lined with Serpa, or not Serpa, Spectra, sorry, Blackhawk. But the inside is Serpa lined, or Spectra lined. I'm probably going to say that again too. Spectra lined, which is the sort of the lighter weight version of Kevlar. So I thought that a lighter weight Kevlar would be nice and easy to wear, good for FRISKs, things like that. Unfortunately, and once again, these are all in the same size. I am seriously not impressed with these gloves. I've got plenty of room in here. In here, if I push, it'll actually pull my finger over. There's not much give in there. Got some heavy padding going across here, which, yeah, if you were trying to catch a knife, I guess would be handy. It's got this really bizarre reflective gloss finger design on here. I am not too sure what they intended that for, but then again, they also changed the material. Back here you have a nice stretchy material, and then they go to a different spandexy, coarser material over here. It actually, it feels very tight on my fingers. It's a little difficult to make a fist because I've got all this material in here trying to bring it in. I've got a pretty good size nub on the end of the thumb, which I'm not a fan of. This material right here is kind of a velour type sweat area, which it does come in handy, but feels like they took 3 gloves, cut them apart, and made these. I'm not too impressed with it. Right now, I can feel the ends of these fingers kind of trying to hold it straight. Feels like they're going to sleep on me. Just kind of a weird design. They do have between the fingers, they've got kind of that spandexy material, so that does fit in real nice between the fingers. But then on the end, and this I'm not a fan of, it's got kind of these bulbousy tips, especially my ring finger here. There's a little bit, there's a bulge sticking out on the side. It's a very strange cut of a glove. Honestly, if I did a FRISK in these, I would not call these FRISK gloves. These, if I was doing a pat down with these, I would probably miss a lot. They're not feeling gloves. I could see these for something like cell extractions, something like that. They'd be perfect for it. But then I don't really see them as being too washable. But like I said, yeah, those are very tight, and they're all the same size. So you can kind of take that. Different companies, they make things differently. So we'll just take that into mind. I just got these a couple of weeks ago. These are by Hatch. These are their version of FRISK gloves. These are also Spectra lined. I didn't say Serpa. These are very easy to put on, take off. Putting them on, taking them off all day long. It's got their logo and kind of a padded material over here, which is in kind of a good place so you don't smack your pinky knuckle there on hard surfaces. Other than that, there's no padding, nothing like that. It's a, I don't believe it was leather, but it's a very lightweight leather material, organic. The stitching on it's not bad. You could manipulate a firearm with this. You have a little loss of feeling. Pretty impressed with them. I mean, I think these will hold up for quite some time. I'm constantly putting disinfectant on them, and it doesn't really seem to affect the leather too much. The only thing I will say is, I don't know if it's the different leather they use, but you can kind of tell this side it's a lot smoother, and this side it's got like a crinkle. So I'm guessing that's just from two different types of leather. They've been like that since I got them. You know, they feel very comfortable, very good. I do a lot of frisks in these. You know, they work quite well. They're not going to stop a puncture so much from needle sharps, things like that. But for a slicing action, that little bit of Spectra in there will probably help quite a bit without being too cumbersome, so not too bad. I'm not going to go into prices on any of this stuff, because especially you're watching this video 2 years down the road, the prices are going to be all different anyway. Say just check Amazon. Now right here, this is one of my go-tos for the last couple of years, one of my favorite companies out there, Mechanix. Most people are very familiar with them in their garage. They're bright, you know, Mechanix written all over them, gloves. They do a fantastic, I mean, they're some of the best in the industry for conforming to different types of hands. These ones, this is actually one of their older tactical line gloves that they came out with. And when you say tactical with Mechanix, what they do is come out and they just make a black version of the gloves they already have. But unlike every other company out there, when they put the name tactical on them, they don't tack on another $100 and hope for a government contract. These are the same gloves that I used to have in bright colors to work on my car. They have a full line of tactical, and it's basically just their regular gloves in black. They still have the logos there. They are very subdued. Top-notch quality. You can get these on their website. Very reasonable prices. They're like 30, 35 bucks. Not bad at all. These ones here, I think they have a newer design on their website now, but this has kind of a thin rubber, give you a little bit of protection right here. It's got the spandexy material in between, so it conforms to anybody's hands. Very nice fit. And the great thing about these is, with these other gloves, a lot of people are like me. You don't live in an area where you can go to the super tactical store and try on all the gloves, see what fits. Mechanix gloves, a lot of times you can go to auto stores and try out the gloves and see if they fit right and find the one that's perfect for you, and then just order it in black. But the newer ones are, they have a slightly different design to the rubber and things like that, but these fit really great. They've got some padding here, here, across the palm, right here, that same area where, you know, this is kind of, it's a very thin padding, but, you know, this would really work out well for shooting. They have a very thin synthetic leather tip, so you can have really good trigger feel. I mean, that's very thin, but, you know, it's a little bit, it's leathery, so it's a little bit stronger than this material here. It's also good that material is, you know, waterproof right there in case you touch something, you know, don't get it all over. Same thing on the thumb. So, I mean, that comes from your automotive. You know, that's the part you're moving things with. First place, you're going to get grease and grime all over. But works out really well for a shooting glove. I do find I get a little bit excess material on the thumb. With a lot of the gloves like this, they don't ever really seem to have any kind of a pullback on the thumb. So you don't get that same, you know, finger goes to the very end. It kind of gets pulled there like the other fingers. Recently I did buy another pair of Mechanix gloves because it was 6 degrees out, and I ordered their tactical cold weather glove. I can't find them right now, and honestly, I'm very disappointed. It is not what I'm used to from a Mechanix glove. The fingers are just huge, the seams are all over the place, they're very thick, very heavy. It feels like there was another layer of padding that was supposed to go inside that they forgot, but they didn't, and just very disappointed in those. But these ones here are very good. I mean, these were my go-tos for a couple of years for training, things like that. Just the right amount of protection. Really like these gloves for a tack glove. Got the nice short cuff. The band, the Velcro for them is on the bottom, which I really do prefer it to be on the top. Just a personal preference, but really good glove. My last set here is by 511. 511, I don't want to admit how much of my wardrobe is made by them, but kept clasps on top. It's got a little bit more material on the bottom, so it can go inside the cuff of your shirt. You know, keep that glass, that debris, brass, flying brass, anything like that. Just that little bit extra go in the cuff. Doesn't look ridiculous wearing it with short sleeves if you're out doing a patrol in the summer or something like that. You just need a little protection. These, you know, they don't go crazy on the super paddings, anything like that. You could very easily frisk with these. Not thick. They just put an extra swath of the synthetic leather in the places where you're most likely to have, you know, cuts, things like that. The entire backing of it is that spandexy material. It's super comfortable. Wear these all day long. It's got a little bit of that synthetic leather perfectly placed over every one of your knuckles, fingertips. The seams inside are very, very small. Has a very good feel to it. I mean, you could pick up dimes with these. The stitching, it's not the best. I mean, nothing's falling off, but you do get a little flyaway here and there. It does have a nice absorbent sweat pad right here. It's very thick. It's got almost like a terry cloth feel to it. Very impressed with these. For shooting, tack work, frisks, I mean, these are just a really great glove by 511. Once again, these are about 2 years old, I think. Had them a while. They may have a new design out, but if they stick with this design, I'd be very impressed and buy those as well. This one, every one of my fingers does reach the tip. It's got that elastic in between the fingers for that superior fit there. When I stretch my thumb out, it actually does pull the thumb a little bit at the very edge of the extension. So I do get that thumb all the way in there. A really nice fit around every finger. For a tack glove, this would be my pick. It doesn't go overboard on the padding. It's simplistic. As I recall, I don't think these were very expensive. But yeah, it's got the sweat pad. It's pretty much got everything I like for a tack glove, and nothing that I don't want or need in one. It's got that top clasp, nice material in there, so it's not just open right there. Nothing's going to fall in. But yeah, that would be my pick for one. If you have any questions about any of them, please let me know. And like I said, you know, if you do have one of these and you're going, oh no, I love mine, it fits my hand great, that's fine. You know, you find what works for you. The best thing with gloves, just like a boot or a shoe, is always to go try them on. But once again, for people like me that don't have that option, just wanted to kind of give a brief overview on these. So, hope that came in handy.